They saw the truth in your eyes before you even learned to speak. That is why they feared you from the beginning. Chosen one, you were not born into your family by accident. You were placed there as a test of their character and a preparation for your awakening before you could walk. They already sensed something different about you. The way you looked at people was not with innocent wonder, it was with knowing, a depth that made adults uncomfortable. They called you an old soul to dismiss it, but what they really meant was you could see through their masks. And masks do not like being seen through. Don't scroll. This message found you for a reason. Stay until the end, because what you are about to discover will change everything. Imagine being a newborn with ancient eyes. That was you. While other babies cried for milk, you were reading the room, absorbing tension, feeling the unspoken. You did not have words yet, but you had awareness. And that awareness terrified them. Because people who live in denial cannot exist comfortably around someone who embodies truth. Even as an infant, you were a mirror. And what you reflected back was everything they tried to hide from themselves. Their pain, their lies, their unhealed wounds. They could not destroy the mirror, so they tried to convince you that you were broken, that your clarity was confusion, that your gift was a curse. Think about your earliest memories, not the happy ones they put in photo albums, the real ones. The moments when you walked into a room and the conversation stopped. The glances exchanged over your head, the forced laughter that never reached anyone's eyes. You were reading a language nobody taught you: energy, intention, lies dressed as love. This is not paranoia, this is the gift you were born with. While other children played pretend, you were detecting what was real. And in families built on pretending, that made you dangerous. You felt it in your bones when something was off. You knew when someone was lying, even if their words sounded sweet. You sensed the distance in a hug that looked warm from the outside. This was not imagination. This was spiritual perception, a frequency most humans have numbed out of. But you came into this world with the volume turned all the way up. Every emotion, every shift in energy, every hidden motive, you picked it up like a radio tuned to the truth channel. And in a house full of static, that signal was unwelcome. Don't skip. If you feel a pull in your chest right now, that is your spirit recognizing its own story. Stay with this. Here is what they will never tell you. Your sensitivity was not a flaw, it was a superpower they needed to suppress. Every time they told you to stop being so emotional, stop asking so many questions, stop making things awkward, they were really saying, stop seeing what we are hiding. Because the moment you fully awakened to your power, their entire illusion would collapse. You were the truth they could not afford to face. So they spent years trying to convince you that your greatest strength was your biggest weakness. That is how control works. Make the seer doubt their sight. Make the intuitive question their gut. Make the aware feel crazy for their clarity. Before we go deeper, if these words are landing in your soul right now, do not keep this message to yourself. Press that like button and share this light with another chosen one who needs to hear it. The algorithm only shows truth to those who engage with it. Your one click could be someone else's awakening. And if you are new here, subscribe now, because what comes next will connect dots you did not even know were scattered. This is not just a video, this is a mirror, and mirrors reveal what has been hidden too long. Type Amen in the comments right now if you are ready to receive the truth that is coming. This declaration activates the divine frequency around your breakthrough. Now let us talk about what they did to keep you small. They did not need chains. They used shame, guilt, confusion, emotional fog, so thick you could not see your own reflection clearly. Every time you started to trust yourself, they planted doubt. Every time you stood in your truth, they made you apologize for it. They trained you to seek their approval before believing your own experience. That is gaslighting. And it did not happen once or twice. It was a pattern woven into the fabric of your childhood. You were not raised. You were managed, controlled, kept in a version of yourself that fit their comfort, not your destiny. Don't scroll. The breakthrough you have been waiting for is closer than you think. Stay until the end. Think about how subtle it was. They did not come at you with obvious cruelty that would have been too easy to identify and resist. No, they used tools that left no visible marks. A sigh when you spoke your truth. A change of subject when you asked uncomfortable questions. Praise when you stayed small, and silence when you shined too bright. They trained you like Pavlov trained dogs. But instead of food, the reward was conditional love. And the punishment was withdrawal. Coldness. The message that you only mattered when you made them comfortable. They convinced you that your intuition was anxiety, that your boundaries were rudeness, that your standards were unrealistic. They pathologized your healthy responses to their unhealthy behavior. When you pulled away from someone who hurt you, they called it holding grudges. When you expressed pain, they called it being dramatic. When you demanded respect, they called it being difficult. This is how they kept you compliant. By making you believe that self-protection was selfishness, that speaking up was starting problems, that choosing yourself was abandoning them. But here is the truth they never wanted you to realize. Loyalty to yourself is not betrayal of others. It is the foundation of genuine connection. You cannot truly love from a place of self-abandonment. You can only perform, and you performed for years. Studies show that the most perceptive child in a dysfunctional family often becomes the scapegoat, not because they cause problems, but because they expose them. You were that child, the one who asked why when everyone else just obeyed, the one who felt the tension nobody wanted to name, the one who could not pretend everything was fine when it clearly was not. And they punished you for it, not with violence always, but with isolation, with silent treatment, with the message that your perception was the problem, not their behavior. They made you the villain in a story where you were actually the hero trying to break free. Type "My path is clear" in the comments if you feel the fog lifting. Your words have power. This declaration removes spiritual blockages that have held you back. Let me be clear about something. The pain you carry is not proof that you are broken. It is proof that you survived what was designed to destroy you. Most people who go through what you went through do not make it out with their heart still intact. But you did. You are still here, still seeking, still growing, still refusing to become what hurt you. That is not luck. That is divine resilience. The universe does not waste its warriors on small battles. You were built for this. Every betrayal was training. Every disappointment was preparation. Every moment you felt alone, you were actually being shaped into someone who could stand alone, because chosen ones do not need crowds to validate their truth. They carry it like a torch in the dark. Don't skip. What comes next is the most important part. Your spirit has been waiting for this revelation. You were put through fire because fire is what creates diamonds. Pressure is what makes coal into jewels. Every time they tried to break you, they were unknowingly strengthening you. Every tear you cried, in silence watered seeds of wisdom they will never understand. You thought you were falling apart, but you were actually falling into place. The person you are becoming could not have been born from comfort. That version of you needed the crucible, needed the testing, needed to be stripped of everything false, so only the truth remained. And here you are, raw, real, unshakable. Not because nothing has shaken you, but because you learned to find your center in the earthquake. There is a reason you are still standing, when others with half your story are broken. You have something in you that refuses to quit, a knowing that whispers keep going, even when logic says give up. That is not human will. That is soul purpose. You incarnated with a mission. And part of that mission was learning to rise from ashes, to alchemize poison into medicine, to transform wounds into wisdom. You are not here to be a victim. You are here to be a victor who helps other victims become victors too. That is the lineage you carry. The generational curse stops with you, and the generational blessing begins with you. Stay until the end. This is where the spiritual door opens. Don't leave now. And here is something powerful. If this message is shifting something inside you, if you feel seen in a way you have not felt before, there is a sacred principle at work. Energy flows where intention goes. When you support the light that heals you, you create a channel for abundance to flow back into your life. Not as obligation, but as spiritual law. What you give to rises, what you invest in multiplies. There is a Ko-Fi link in the description and pinned comment. If you feel called to bless this work with your support, know that even the smallest seed planted with pure intention grows into a forest of blessings. The universe sees those who amplify the light, and it returns the generosity sevenfold. Your support is not just a transaction, it is a declaration. A statement that says, I value truth, I honor healing, I choose to be part of the awakening. But whether you give or not, your presence here means everything. You are already part of this movement just by being here, by staying, by refusing to scroll past your own breakthrough. Let us go deeper now. One of the cruelest things they did was convince you that you were too much, too sensitive, too intense, too emotional. But there is no such thing as too much light. What they really meant was you were too much for their darkness to contain. They wanted you dim because your brightness exposed their shadows. They wanted you quiet because your questions threatened their lies. So they spent years turning your power into something you apologized for, but no more. Don't scroll. You are about to discover why everything in your life happened exactly as it did. Stay. You are not too sensitive. You are a frequency detector. You are not too emotional. You are an empath in a world that forgot how to feel. You are not too much. You are exactly enough for the mission you came here to complete, and that mission requires all of you. The parts they loved and the parts they rejected, the easy parts and the complicated ones, the light and the shadow. All of it is sacred. All of it is necessary. All of it makes you who you are. A chosen one, a cycle breaker, a truth speaker in a world that worships lies. Your sensitivity is how you heal others. Your questions are how you free minds. Your intensity is how you move mountains. They said could not be moved. Everything they punished you for is exactly what the world needs right now. And the moment you own it, the moment you stop apologizing for being you, something shifts. Not just in you, but in everyone watching. Because when one chosen one rises, it gives permission for others to rise too. Your awakening is contagious. Your freedom is a catalyst. Your truth is a key that unlocks doors for people you will never meet. Let me tell you something they never wanted you to know. You were not the problem child. You were the prophetic one. The one who came to reveal, not to conform. Prophets were never popular. They were rejected. Why? Because they spoke truth to people who preferred lies. You are in that lineage. A spiritual disruptor planted in a sleeping system. Your job was never to make them comfortable. It was to wake them up. And if they refused to wake, your job was to wake yourself and walk away. That is what you are doing now. Every chosen one goes through a wilderness season, a time when you are isolated from everything familiar, when the old life falls apart and the new one has not formed yet. That is where you learn who you really are. Not who they said you were, not the role they assigned, but the soul you came here to embody. Don't skip the transformation you are experiencing right now is permanent. This is not temporary motivation. This is soul activation. The wilderness strips you, takes away the noise so you can finally hear your own voice. Removes the audience so you can stop performing and start being. It is in that holy solitude that you meet the parts of yourself they made you hide. The anger you were told was ugly. The power you were punished for expressing. All of it comes to the surface. And instead of pushing it down like you were trained to do, you let it speak. This is where most people break. The silence is too loud, so they run back to what is familiar, even if it is toxic, but not you. You sat in that discomfort until it became comfort. You stayed until your eyes adjusted and you saw it was not dark at all. It was clarity. The wilderness was not punishment. It was preparation. And when you emerge, you are not the same. The person who entered was shaped by others. The person who exits is shaped by truth. The fog they built was intentional. Confusion was their strategy. They needed you disoriented, so you would keep coming back to them for direction. They needed you doubting yourself, so you would never trust your instincts. They needed you afraid, so you would never leave. But your spirit is stronger than their systems. Your truth is louder than their lies. And your awakening was written in the stars before you were even born. They could delay it, distract from it, try to destroy it. But they could never stop it. You are waking up now. The fog is lifting. You are starting to see how the game was played, how they used love as leverage, how they weaponized your empathy, how they made you responsible for their emotions while dismissing yours. You see it now, and seeing it changes everything. You cannot unsee truth. You cannot unknow what you know. The veil has been pulled back, and on the other side of that veil is your power. Raw, unfiltered, undeniable. Type "I am rising" in the comments to declare your victory over everything that tried to keep you down. This is your moment of liberation. Some of you are angry right now. Good. Anger means you finally value yourself enough to be offended by how you were treated. Anger means you stopped making excuses for people who never apologized. Anger is not the enemy. Suppressed anger is feel it. Let it burn through the false narratives. Let it clear out the guilt they planted. Let it fuel your boundaries and your boldness. Then let it go. Not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom. Anger is the fire that clears the land, but you cannot build a new life on ashes. At some point, you plant seeds, you create, you rise. Understand this about anger. It is information. It is telling you that a boundary was crossed, that your worth was dismissed. Most people are taught to suppress anger, but anger is not unspiritual. It is protective. It is your soul saying this is not okay. And when you honor that message instead of shaming it, anger becomes an ally. Don't scroll. The most powerful revelation is coming in just a moment. Stay right where you are. The key is not to live in anger. That becomes bitterness. The key is to pass through it, to let it burn away what needs to go and leave you with clarity. And on the other side of that fire is peace. Not fake peace from avoiding conflict. Real peace, the kind that comes from living in alignment with your truth. You are done. And that completion is powerful. And here is where it gets beautiful. You are not just surviving anymore, you are becoming the person they feared you would be. The one who sees clearly, speaks boldly, loves deeply, but never desperately. The one who knows their worth is not up for negotiation. You are stepping into a version of yourself that does not need validation from people who invalidated you for years. You are learning to trust yourself more than their opinions, to believe your experience over their explanations, to honor your peace over their presence. This transformation is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you always were beneath the layers of conditioning. The child who knew, the soul who saw, the spirit who refused to dim that version of you never left. It just went underground while you learned to survive. Now it is resurfacing, and with it comes a power they can never take from you. The power of self-knowledge, of self-trust, of self-love that does not require external permission. You are your own authority now, your own validator, your own home. Before we close, I want to say this. If you have made it this far, you are ready. Ready to stop waiting for permission. Ready to stop shrinking. Ready to stop apologizing for taking up space. The universe did not make a mistake when it made you. Every part of you that they call too much is exactly what the world needs. Your sensitivity heals. Your questions awaken. Your presence disrupts systems that need to fall. Stay until the end. What I am about to share could change the trajectory of your entire life. Don't miss this. This is your moment, not someday. Now, you are already enough. The only thing left is to believe it, to live it, to walk in it. Every scar, every lesson, every tear, it all belongs to you, and it has made you unstoppable. A warrior wrapped in grace, a truth-teller wrapped in compassion, a chosen one who chose themselves. Press that like button if this resonated. Subscribe if you are ready to keep walking this path. Comment 777 if you know you are chosen. And remember, you are not alone. You never were. The universe has been with you every step, guiding, protecting, preparing you for this exact moment. The moment you realize you are not a victim of your story. You are the author, rewriting it. And now, before we part, I want to extend a sacred invitation. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment, a spiritual crossroads. And at this intersection, you have a choice. You can continue consuming content that entertains but does not transform. Or you can step into a protected space where real awakening happens. I have created an inner circle for chosen ones like you. A high vibrational community where we go deeper than any video can go. Where you receive personalized guidance, advanced spiritual teachings, and direct support on your journey. This is not for everyone. This is for the ones who are serious about their transformation. The ones who know they were born for more than survival. The ones ready to claim their destiny. The link to join this sacred circle is in the description and pinned comment. When you step into this space, you are not just joining a community. You are activating a frequency of abundance that follows those who invest in their growth. The universe rewards commitment. And when you commit to your awakening, doors open that were invisible before. Opportunities appear, resources flow, synchronicities multiply. Your support also keeps this channel alive so we can continue reaching souls who are still searching in the dark. Every video, every message, every moment of light we share requires energy, time, resources. When you choose to support this work through Ko-Fi or by joining the inner circle, you are not just giving. You are participating in a movement, a spiritual revolution. And your contribution, no matter the size, creates ripples that reach people you will never meet but who desperately need to hear these truths. This is not obligation. This is invitation. If your spirit is called, you will know. And if it is not the right time, that is okay too. What matters most is that you are here, that you stayed, that you chose yourself by choosing to listen to this entire message. Thank you, Chosen One, for your courage, for your heart, for refusing to give up. The world needs your light. And now, finally, you are ready to let it shine. Your breakthrough is not coming. It is already here. Step into it. Own it. Become it. The link to join the inner circle and support this mission is waiting for you. Check the description. Check the pinned comment. And trust that whatever you feel called to do next is exactly what your soul needs. You are not here by accident. You are here by divine design, and your awakening is just beginning.